Welcome back to another segment of Lady Mogul Talk, and this segment is in partnership with the HBCU Experience Movement. Today we are in for a special treat. We have another Ahvery coming to the stage, Ahvery Thomas. She is from a small collegiate town of Grambling, Louisiana, and she graduated from a laboratory school. Then she enrolled in the HBCU, Grambling State University. You know, I love a good HBCU, Clark Atlanta, for me. And she was elected to be Miss Grambling State University 2009 to 2010. She went on to pledge for Delta Sigma Theta, and she graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management and later a Master of Science in Sports and Administration. After college, she went to pursue a career with a Fortune 500 company. You might know the name JP Morgan Chase. And then she left to pursue law school at Southern University Law, which, of course, is another HBCU. She then began to work with the athletics department on the campus and the Sun Belt Conference in New Orleans. She is very multifaceted. In her free time, she enjoys volunteering, helping with those who are less fortunate, and mentoring youth. So please give a warm virtual welcome to Ahvery Thomas. Hello.
Hey, hi.
It is so great to have you today. And it's great to have another Ahvery on the stage. You know, we're
I
taking
know
over.
it. I love to hear other Averys. It's just like music to my ears. Like,
It
oh, you're
is
Avery too? You're an
right.
Avery too? Yeah. It's a name that goes across the board too, because I know a couple of guy Averys as well. So,
True, true. My mom said if I
mm-hmm.
weren't Ahvery Simone, I would have been calling Ahvery, so I was stuck with the name no
It-
matter what.
yes, yes.
Now, getting into your bio, you have accomplished so much. I didn't even read everything, but of course, you'll see it down below on the segment page. But growing up, what really shaped you to become the woman who you are today to accomplish so much so young and early?
My family. Uh, I come from a family of just keep rolling type people, like, never give up and follow your dreams. What is it that makes you happy, and do that. um and I come from a family that they're going to push you to do those things, but for you to also make some type of path for yourself. And so for me, it was never a question of being able to do something, um and something fulfilling and something worthwhile. And so, it was no question that I was going to go to school or go to college. It was no question that I was going to go to an HBCU and continue that education. Even when I was thinking of where to go for law school, I wanted to go to an HBCU. I wanted that path for me because, of course, I know that I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do to get my life where I want it, but I wanted that journey to be maneuvered with HBCUs. And so, yeah, my family, and honestly, to tack on to that, my entire family, um, if they went to a college, they went to an HBCU. There's a few little specks that went to a PWI, but that's because it was close to home. But other than that, yeah, my family. I mean, when you come from a family full of, um, college degrees and professional degrees, that's where you see you see yourself. There's a bar that's been raised, and so you continue with that. It's a beautiful thing to see family members that have been able to get through life, even with the back in the day, those issues with segregation and stuff. They still made it through, and so being able to follow in their footsteps to make sure everything works out, was definitely a push for me.
And I can understand the HBCU legacy. My mom herself attended an HBCU in Little Rock, Arkansas. And when she first mentioned you need to go to an HBCU, I don't think I fully grasped the concept. I was like, okay,
Hmm.
let me look into it. And so I looked at a list of HBCUs and I just fell in love with Clark Atlanta. It's something about it. No offense to PWI schools. That was my,
Hmm.
I did go to a PWI later, but nobody knows that because I always talk about HBCUs. So
Hmm.
why for you, you mentioned it a little bit, but why for you was it important to continue the legacy of those who had gone before you to attend an HBC? Because of course, I'm sure there were other schools that would have loved to have had you, but why was it that HBCU for you?
Um, Being able to say that, you know, for me, it was one of those things to where historically, Black people, um, we love HBCUs and we have a seriousness about HBCUs and a love and an understanding that we are, we're worth it. And so I wanted to continue that. Um, which is why you see a lot of successful people always, if they went to a HBCU, they always keep the name rolling because, again, some people don't have that respect for them. And so I wanted to be one of those people that when you see my success story, you also see the fact that my success story came from an HBCU. Respect that, respect those names, that those schools that I went to. And so that is actually why. Um, and seeing other people I've gone to school with that's doing well, that turn around and say, "Oh, I went to Grambling," or that's doing well coming from the law school, or I went to Southern University Law Center. That is a big deal to see someone successful and then for them to turn around and say, "This is the school I went to," um, and to show in truth that basically put some respect on my name.
Yeah.
Put some respect on my HBCUs because we are here. We are worth it. Our degrees are worth it. Our degrees have respect on them. And so I wanted to continue that legacy of being successful and coming from a law school or a 4-year college, those that were HBCUs. So that is the reason why I chose them. I mean, as a person, I feel like you know in your heart that you are going to try your best to be successful and you're going to do what you need to do to be successful. And to be able to put that HBCU label on yourself once you get to that point is like the icing on the cake. So that is why I went. I want to be educated by HBCU. And then once I get to that point in my life where I can share my light to other people. It came from HBCU. I want to put that out there in the world.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And one of your legacies, another thing we have in common was being Royal Court Queens. I was second attendant to Miss CAU. You were Miss
Oh,
Grambling State University. Tell
yes,
me what that
ma'am.
experience was like and what even made you decide to like just take on this daunting role?
um, so being Miss Grambling, 2009, 2010, was one of the best decisions I ever made, you know, and one of the best experiences of my life. It has shaped me in so many ways. And actually, one of the reasons why youth is such a big thing in my life right now, or being able to mentor to them. Because honestly, growing up, kids weren't really my thing. They're cute and all, but I was one of those people that would be like, okay, where your mama up? Where's she at? Somebody needs to come get this child. But no, as my experience as Miss Grambling, one of the things that we had to do was we were like an extension as an ambassador for the school and helped with recruiting and all of that. And so what I learned in those spaces were that a lot of these kids just need to be heard and to be loved. Um, and so it shaped me into a person that has become um, a public servant and actually like doing these things. And so for me, of course, there's a whole list of beautiful things that position has given me, but in particular, the love to help and mentor youth is what has changed my life and changed the journey that I've decided to take with my life and trying to try the best that I can to mentor the future, to mentor those humans. Um, and as for the reasoning why I decided to run, um, it was something that I always thought about, right? And so I decided to take a crack at it, I guess, and run for Miss Sophomore, and it didn't work out for me. And so I remember it being like a life lesson almost for me, as like I went through this motion of, or this time where I was like, well, maybe this isn't for me, you know. I tried it on this on as Miss Sophomore. It didn't work out. It might not work out for Miss Grambling. So, you know what? This might not be for me. And I went through this process of having to learn to get myself out of that rut, and having to learn that this is something that you've always wanted to do. Don't let this stop you. And I thought to myself that if I don't try, I'm going to spend the rest of my life wondering what would have happened.
Right.
And so I decided to go ahead and run. And on top of that, too, because I was considered a local because I'm from the area. I
Hmm.
went to the lab school on the campus and everything, so I'm from the area. And so for me, I knew there were some things that needed to change, specifically between the connection between administration and the students. And so I wanted to be able to have a platform to help that as well. And not to say as a regular student, you can't help those things or can't, put yourself out there to try to figure out these issues. However, if you're in a position in the Student Government Association, you will be listened to a little bit more. And so I knew that in that space that there were some things I wanted to do and to help with. And so I knew that that was my gateway to be able to 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 bridge that gap between administration and students, and to help even with little things on campus. And so I decided to go ahead and run, and it worked out. It worked out this time.
Yes. You know what? This is so funny. It must be an Avery thing because I ran from his freshman and I did not win. And then I was so mad. Okay, this is not bitter, but she ended up quitting school. I was like, wait a minute, how is that representative of our school? I was
Right.
like, you went on to somewhere other school. But anyway, that's another story. But I want to go back to one of the points that you said earlier about it helped you to develop your passion for under-resourced youth. And that's very evident, your passion within your bio is like, oh, wow, she really is, for her community and helping others. What would
Mhm.
you say is the greatest impact that we can make on under-resourced youth who need maybe just that beacon of hope or that next step to succeed and turn their circumstances around?
um Time. Give your time. um a lot of these children, all they need is someone to listen to them. All they need is someone to take some time with them. So even if you find a nonprofit or a group home where you could come in and you can, have a conversation with certain children, or, even play video games with them, give them some of your time. And honestly, giving them time and a listening ear has been some of the things that I've noticed have changed, um, or have helped with some positive change in a lot of these children, because usually they come from homes where they're not listened to, that they're not loved on, that they're not given, a space to grow. And so if you just talk to them, I mean, and even it can be as simple as, what do you think? How do you feel? And allowing them to be able to open up and tell you how they feel, And so I think the best thing to be able to give them is your time, or a listening ear. Just and I'm telling this to everybody, just reach out to different, nonprofits or different organizations. Google some different organizations that cater to the youth, and see if you can volunteer. Literally volunteering, if you want to be a referee at a basketball game or something, just little things like that will legit change any of these children's lives. Just become a mentor. Don't do it for the money, because half the time it's no money. If it is, it's real little. So you have to do it out the kindness of your heart. But if you guys have the time to do these little things. Do it. And I mean, and what I've learned too is, I say youth, but I've also taken these steps when working on different campuses as well. Some of these college students just need a person to talk to, or a place to come sit down, a safe space. So okay, if children aren't your thing, um you could go to a university and see what type of organizations they may have, and see how you can help that way to mentor. And I mean, even if it's one person, one child, one college student, one college athlete that you are just making a safe space for, that just may change their lives. I mean, I've had plenty of them tell me, Miss Avery or Miss Thomas, whichever one they want to call me, um, you're the only person I can talk to. You have changed my life. Thank you so much. Or it could be as little as helping them with their journey a little bit. I've had some youth that say, forget high school. I don't care about high school. I don't care about college. I don't care. And then after one or two conversations of explaining life, well, I know you don't like school, but what about trade? Giving them alternatives. Like, what about trade school? What about community college? Do you like to do hair? Do you like welding? Do you, depending on our conversation. And then later on down the line, it'll be one of those situations where I'll get a phone call or a Facebook message or something to say, hey, Miss Avery, I just wanted to let you know that I finished cosmetology school. It's just
Wow.
those little things that are just
Yeah.
like, wow, when I met you, you didn't want to listen to your mama, you didn't want to listen to your daddy. You said forget, you were 15 and said forget life. You haven't lived life yet. But you have to give your time. You have to, oh, let me add this too, patience. Patience is a thing that you need. But as long as you are doing it out of a sincere place, really wanting to make other people's lives better, do it. If it's on your heart, the Lord is telling you, help this person, help them. It could be a 5-minute conversation that might change their life. You might change the trajectory of where their life may end up, because you stopped and you cared enough to give them time, to give them a listening ear, to give them patience. Because half the time, these kids or even college students don't get it at home.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry that I'm long winded, but
No, no, no.
that's,
That was great.
yeah,
And this must be another Avery thing because you said the same words I said. Trajectory. You could change the trajectory. And then even with the last statement, you said even 5 minutes. You reminded me like throughout the whole conversation that I can't. It might have been like 2 or 3 years ago. Someone came up to me and said that you were like one of my mentors that helped shape who not shape who I am, but help impact her in some way. Number one, I didn't even realize that she saw me as a mentor. I mean, I was doing the best that I
exactly.
could help. I thought I was a terrible role model because I didn't have, a lot of time to give. But it doesn't, as
Hmm.
you said, it doesn't really take all of that. Sometimes it's just
Mm-mm.
that one
Yeah,
conversation or just even little encounters or just checking in on someone that can make all the difference. So I'm really glad that you highlighted that because we think we have to do these big, elaborate weekly visits, but
right.
sometimes it's just the small steps, the small things that really make a difference. I'm really glad you
Absolutely.
touched on that. Now, switching gears back to your HBCU experience as a queen, you have a book that is already out with the HBCU experience movement, highlighting your experience
Yes.
as Miss Grambling State University. So tell
Hmm.
us, what was that process like? And I'm sure it brought back so many fun memories for you.
It did because when I was reached out about the book, and they told me, your chapter will be about one of your experiences, when you were campus queen. And I was like, okay. And so my brain started just going through all these different, like, what can I talk about? I mean, I have a pool of things to pull from because this was a whole year experience. But what do I talk about? And then going back to what changed my thought process, on being able to mentor the youth is what I did decide to speak about. So in the book, after trying to figure out what I was going to talk about or what story I was going to tell, I decided to go ahead and do the story of my first, not my first experience with youth, but the first experience that changed the trajectory of my life. Um, because it's so important, and because it was what's the word I'm looking for? Like that pivot in life to do what I want to do in life. I decided to share that story. I hope you guys enjoy it because it's still one of those things that happened that's still close to my heart. And without giving too much away, I hope that everybody is inspired by it, just like I was when it happened to me. It was so many years ago, but it was over a decade ago. So I'm hoping that those who are who are in the story are still doing well. But yeah, I decided to talk about that story, the story that changed my life, and hopefully everyone else is inspired by it like I was.
And I'm sure they will be. Be sure to support Ahvery's book and the other queens who are featured in the HBCU Experience
Yes.
Movement edition of the HBCU Queens book. It is now available on Amazon. And is it on the website as well? I don't know if it's, I forget if
It's
it's.
on www.the hbcumovement.com or the hbcumovementexperience.com. It's
Okay.
one of those. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but
We'll make sure we have the right link.
it is on Amazon. If you search on Amazon HBCU Experience, all the other books pop up too. But you can scroll through and find the book that you want. Also, if you're on Instagram, you can follow me, and the link is actually my bio. So if you click on it, the book will pop
Okay.
right up. My Instagram is Ahvery Nicole. So if y'all want to go on there, click on the link, get the book, and it's right now on the bestsellers list of entrepreneurship and college education, I believe. It's on the bestsellers list on under those two areas. So,
Well, congratulations. Best-selling
yes,
author.
best-selling author. I need to add that to my
Yes,
bio.
fun hell. Now, for the last question, I always hate when these segments come to a close because I really truly enjoy meeting each of our guests. What's next for you? What can we expect in your journey next? And be sure to follow her. We will have
Yes.
her links below, so be sure to follow her.
I have so many things that the Lord has put on my heart to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to do them. I talk to Him every night. I pray to Him, Lord, help me get there. Because I know you want me to get there. Just help your girl out and how to figure out how to get there. But my thought in life has always been to be some type of entrepreneur, right? There are so many things that I want to do and want to be able to help with. And even in those spaces, I want to be one of those people who are able to hire those that nobody else wants to hire. Whether it is, um, people getting out of jail or people with disabilities or even, disadvantaged youth. I still want to be able to use those platforms or those businesses to be able to still help other people. And I also am in the works of, trying to get my own law firm up. And so at this point, I'm just still learning, making sure I know how everything works before, stepping out on my own. But that's the plan, is to have my own law firm and to have a couple of businesses out there to be able to, still give money back to the community and give those opportunities to those that nobody else wants to give opportunities to. So you heard it here. So give me a couple of years and come back to this so I can give a testimony on life, honey. But yeah, that's the plan. I mean, my plan in life has never. One thing that I guess it's like a gift and a curse is that I'm a very considerate person. So I consider everybody else in the things that I want to do. Um, and so that's what I want to do. Yes, I want businesses, right? But I want to be able to use those businesses to better other people as well. Um, and so that's the plan. That's the plan. And we're gonna see where the Lord take me. But as of right now, I'm doing okay. But I still want to be able, to do a little more. You know?
To walk further in your purpose. I totally get
Exactly.
that. Business with
Exactly.
an impact and purpose. So I'm
Yes.
here for it. And we
Yes.
cannot wait to see the evolution because we know you'll get there. I mean, based off your
I know
bio
it.
alone, it's
I know it.
inevitable. It's just a matter of
I know
time.
it. It's trying to figure, get from point A to point B or C,
Right.
D, and E. So just trying to get there, But I believe in myself. I am, a believer in God. I pray to Him, and I pray that He allows me to continue to do the things that have He set in my heart. So I'm trying
Definitely.
to
Yes.
do.
Are there any last words you would like to share with our audience, whether it's just encouragement or a quote that you live by?
um. So there's this one quote, and I'm pretty sure everybody has heard it, but I've used it ever since I became Miss Grambling. Is that tough times don't last always, tough people do. And the reason why I use that is because the whole situation I told you about before. I ran for something, didn't work out, and I did it again, and it worked out. And so, had I not, where would I be, or where would I be honestly in life? Because my life changing experience came from that year, you know. Um, and I'd also like to add to for people to be kind and considerate. You never know what other people are going through, and you know, one bad altercation or situation a day can ruin your whole day. Try not to do that. Have a good day. Be nice to people. Be kind to people. Be considerate to people. And there's another uh, there's another saying that I go by now. If you go on Will Smith's Instagram, he has a whole post about it because I got it from him. But basically, he says, try your best to have a good day. You might mess around and have a good life. So make every day a good day, and eventually you'll have a good life. So that's
I
it.
absolutely love that. And that also reminded me of Tabitha Brown about don't go messing up anyone else's day.
Oh yeah. So if you can't have a good one, don't go messing up nobody else's day. Yeah, I
Right.
love me some Tabitha girl.
Right. We all do. America's mom.
Yes, indeed. I love her. Love her. Love her. Now, Will Smith says his a little differently, but I made it clean. But if you want to go and actually hear what he's saying, go to his page. You'll see it looks like they on a golf course or something. He got like some golf clubs or something on his back, and his producer or whoever is recording him. And the way he said it is way better, but I can't say it the way he said it on here. Go on there and see. But I've been ever since I heard it, I've been living by it. Like you might mess around and have a good life. You go ahead and have these good days. So you know, make your day good,
Yes.
regardless of what happens. Make it
Yes.
a good day.
Definitely. Well, my fellow Avery, it has been a wonderful conversation with
Yes,
you.
it
I really
has.
enjoyed getting to know more about your journey and your story, and we cannot wait to see what is next for you. So, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me. I've had a wonderful time with you, Miss Avery.
Miss Avery. Excuse me, we're having an Avery moment.
Yes, we're
Anyway.
having an Avery moment.
Well, everyone, this has been another segment of Lady Mogul Talk. I hope you have enjoyed the segment as much as I have, and we will see you on the next segment. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good one.